Yeah.
Where does this singularity sit, if not in space and time?
No, it can't sit in space and time.
So is it outside space and time?
There is no space and time.
So where is it?
There is no space time.
Okay, is it even tangible? Is this a concept or is it tangible? The singularity.
Well, right. Let me do whole sentences.
Yeah, go on. Finish your sentence.
Means that you're allowed to, you can touch it, and that immediately begins who is the person that can touch it. Seeing as everything that exists is there, it's not strictly speaking.
Does it exist? Or did it exist at one point? Where did it exist, if not in space-time?
Oh, no.
You're saying it was the totality of existence, therefore it can't be compared to anything else, or placed
But did
within
it-
everything else.
No,
because
it didn't
any
exist in
reference, any
space-time.
flag by which you judge it as to where its location is also part of the singularity. Because
Yes.
it's the whole of existence.
No, but does it exist somewhere in space and time? Or is it outside space and time?
It is the whole of existence.
Even then,
doesn't-
does it exist in space and time?
No, space and time only applies within it.
Yeah.
Within
Space
it?
and time is measuring.
Okay, so that singularity always existed? Or did it begin to exist?
I don't know what singularity is, but the whole of existence has, of course, always existed. Because otherwise, you'd have to have something coming out of nothing.
No. Wait a minute.
Well, quite so.
All of existence, did it begin to exist or was it always there?
It was always there.
So you were always there.
Into nothingness, as it were.
Infinite amount of nothingness.
Yeah.
Let's define nothing. Go on. Let's see that. Let's define nothing. Come on.
As it spreads out.
What is nothing? Define nothing for me. I really want to know what infinite amount of nothingness is.
Okay. As it spreads out.
No, what is nothing?
Nothing is the opposite of something. It's nothing. Zero.
Zero. Okay, you know what? Even zero is something, but that is abstract.
Yeah. Okay. So
Okay, I'll define nothing. You tell me if my definition is
Okay,
correct.
right.
Nothing is the absence of everything. Is that good?
Yes.
Good?
Yeah,
So
the
there's no such
absence
thing.
of things.
There's no such thing as infinite number of nothing. Nothing is nothing. Nothing, zilch.
Yes, if you like.
Okay?
Yes.
So what I'm saying is even your singularity has to exist in space.
Well, this is you say that it has to, as if you're sort of authority and knew this, but
I don't need to be an authority. I want to ask you. You kept saying it's a good question. Good question.
Yes.
I am still waiting for a good answer.
know.
Does singularity exist in space?
No, that's 'cause you
Based
keep
on
it-
your own analogy of the ruler, does it exist in space?
Okay, can I put it this way?
Yeah, go on.
You know, the universe is kind of expanding. I think most people.
Yeah, but
do
that is later on, my friend. That's fast forwarding
Later, what does it expand into?
into space.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
So, and what do you mean? What is space? What is the space that it's expanding?
Actually, this expansion defines space. You see what I mean?
No. Well, there's
Is it in?
theories about this?
So what is it expanding into then?
Yeah. It's expanding into not space-time is expanding into space. Now
That doesn't even make
that's-
sense.
It is. It does, and I got that from a very.
Okay, so how does it make sense to you? Go on, tell me. If there is no space to begin with, no time to begin with,
No.
then where is this singularity located?
It's located. The idea of what it expands into is a kind of difficult question, which I was trying to say to you. But we could call that space, for want of a better word.
Actually, space expands into space.
No, space-time expands into space.
Yeah, but it's the same thing, right? You're talking
No,
about,
it isn't.
when you talk about time, all right? When you talk about time, yes, a time is a concept.
No, it isn't. You see.
Time is not a concept. What, you can feel time?
No.
You can touch time?
Time is a dimension of the universe.
It's a concept. It's how you measure things from point A to point B going.
That's what you would think, and that's what, you know.
Okay, anyway, look,
time is think.
besides the definition, we both know what time is, okay? But
We don't. This is the whole point of
we
it.
don't know what time is?
You have a concept of time of it's just a click.
That's what I've been telling you all along. It's a concept. It's a concept. You keep agreeing with me.
Get to the full stop in my first sentence.
No. What you really have
No,
to.
I was going to say.
No. I'm sorry. We have gone. We have sidetracked again for the 10th time. I think. I want an answer to my question.
Yeah.
Where does this singularity sit, if not in space and time?
No, it can't sit in space and time.
So is it outside space and time?
There is no space and time.
So where is it?
There is no space and time.
Okay, is it even tangible? Is this a concept or is it tangible? The singularity.
Well, right. Let me do whole sentences.
Yeah, go on. Finish your
Tangible
sentence.
Means that you're allowed to, you can touch it, and that immediately begins who is the person that can touch it. Seeing as everything that exists is there, it's not strictly speaking.
Does it exist?
tangible.
Or did it exist at one point? Where did it exist, if not in space-time?
Oh, no.
You're saying it was the totality of existence,
Yes.
therefore it can't be compared to anything else, or placed
But did
within
it-
everything else.
No,
because
it didn't
any
exist
reference,
in
any
space-time.
flag by which you judge it as to where its location is also part of the singularity. Because
Yes.
it's the whole of existence.
No, but does it exist somewhere in space and time? Or is it outside space and time?
It is the whole of
No,
existence.
Even then,
doesn't-
does it exist in space and time?
No, space and time only applies within it.
Within
Space and
it.
time is measuring.
Okay, so that singularity always existed? Or did it begin to exist?
I don't know what singularity is, but the whole of existence has, of course, always existed. Because otherwise, you'd have to have something coming out of nothing.
No. Wait a minute.
Well, quite so.
All of existence, did it begin to exist or was it always there?
It was always there.
So you were always there.
I was not always there.
He wasn't
Wait.
always there.
My friend. Do you mind if I talk to him as well?
I
We don't need to monopolize the discussion, but if somebody makes a good point,
Yes,
I want to
no.
listen to it.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
I just don't want.
Did you always exist?
I've only been conscious of the time that I've existed.
Forget about your
I can work
consciousness.
out-
Did you as a matter always exist?
No.
No.
Yes.
What always existed? Give me anything, any matter that always existed.
No specific item of matter.
Okay, so there's no matter. My friend, do you mind? I know you got your own
It's
theory.
always changing.
Yes.
But there's
Let's
something.
Yes.
let's be
The matter
let's
that
be
makes up
let's
this
be okay.
gentleman
Because something
always
can't come
existed.
from nothing. It's form change.
Exactly. My point. Okay, so at one point, would you say there was nothing?
No.
So there was always something.
Yeah.
What is this something?
Anything. In
No.
multiple things.
You can't say anything.
At any-
I'm sorry, you can't say anything. You need to tell me what is this matter or this thing that always existed.
The thing is, if I were to say, at one point it was the sun, the planets, and so on,
No, even they began to exist. They all began to exist.
then it's futile to say that it was just always that, because the nature of the universe is it is always changing. But the fact is that it's something as opposed to nothing, not any particular thing that we're identifying.
Let me rephrase my question. Before, okay, I would say that matter began to exist at one point. Would you agree with that statement?
Well, then what would it come to exist from?
No. Before,
Would I agree with that? No.
we haven't come to that yet.
Okay.
We are only discussing of what matter. First, do you believe matter exists?
Yes.
Okay, because there are many people I have discussions with. They think that all this is an illusion, including all the matter that we see. So you're not one of those people. Thank God. The second question I would ask you is that this matter which exists, did it have a beginning?
The individual entities, as it is, had a
Atoms,
beginning,
molecules.
but the totality of existence.
No.
didn't
Let's
have
not
a
talk about totality. Let's start with
Each
this.
individual entity had a beginning.
Yes.
But the total of existence could not have been caused by anything else, because that cause would be part of existence. So the total of existence didn't have a beginning. But everything within existence had a beginning.
Okay, so let me get that right. The totality of existence didn't have a beginning, but every matter had a beginning.
Yes.
That contradicts your statement. Because the totality of the universe is actually made of matter.
Yes.
And if matter had a beginning, then the totality had a beginning.
The thing is,
Am I right? Based on your argument, am I right? If matter is what the universe is made of, and if matter had a beginning, then the universe had a beginning. Even the totality of it.
no, I don't agree that I have a contradiction, because for something to change or to begin to exist or to cease to exist, that has a cause, which is another entity acting upon it.
Yeah.
So everything within the universe, every individual entity, can have a beginning, because within the universe there are other entities that can cause it, that can create it, and that it can go out of existence. But the whole of the universe cannot have a cause, because if that cause existed, either that cause existed or didn't exist. If the cause didn't exist, then the universe doesn't have a beginning, and that's fine. But if there was a cause, then that cause existed, and therefore that cause was part of the universe. So therefore you're saying the universe caused itself. So really the universe wasn't caused.
I'm sorry.
The universe cannot be caused by anything outside the universe.
Why not?
Because there is
Wait.
nothing outside
Why
the
not?
universe. And by universe I mean the totality
Why
of
not?
existence.
Why do you say there's nothing outside the universe?
Because everything that exists is what I'm defining as the universe.
But everything that exists began to exist at one point. So there has to be a beginning.
No,
for
because,
every matter.
No, because I'm not saying that there was literally one thing out of nothing. I'm saying that there was one thing, then another thing, then another.
But there's
thing.
multiple thing or one thing. They all had a beginning, did they not?
The Earth, and there was this Earth, then
My
the
friend,
moon broke off, and so on.
where there is one thing or multiple things, they all had a beginning.
Each individual thing had a beginning. Yeah.
Yes. So how can you say that totality did not have a beginning? On what basis?
Because there's nothing outside, and nothing outside of it.
You know why you're saying that totality had no beginning? Because the only way for you to make this sense of this cause and effect is if the cause was, if everything was caused by some cause, then that cause has to be part of this universe.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Argument.
Okay. What if I told you that was an uncaused cause?
I would say, can you please explain that?
Yeah, God. God is the uncaused cause.
Yeah.
Who brought the universe into existence from his ability to bring the universe into existence, because for me God is the one who has the ability to do that. And God, by definition, he was asking, I think the other gentleman was asking me earlier, who created God? You see, God by definition is uncreated, uncaused, yes, eternal, had no beginning and has no end. So by definition of God, who is outside the universe, even before space and time was, actually both space and time are his creations, and so is the universe. So God is the uncaused cause, who is outside the universe, who brought this universe into existence, and he's the creator of all this.
Well, you see, you can't define something into existence. That you create a definition from what you see. So if I were to define...
No, I don't see God. So I do not define God based on what I see. I do not see God.
But if I define the Hyde Park volcano as the volcano that's in Speaker's Corner without seeing it, it doesn't mean that it exists. I've just defined it. A definition has to be based on what you see, otherwise it's completely meaningless and it's just a sort of spewing of words. Your definitions that you create don't create reality. Your definitions have to be based on reality.
Yeah, just like your definition that the totality of the universe did not begin to exist.
That wasn't a definition, that was an argument.
That argument is baseless.
No, it isn't.
Really? Form the basis of that argument. Go on. Qualify that argument of yours that the universe, the totality of the universe did not have a beginning.
Okay.
Because what you're doing is, in order for your, your theory of cause and effect, in order not to basically, refute that particular theory, you have to invent this idea, this concept that the universe always existed.
Okay, I'm not inventing it, I'm observing it.
No, you cannot observe the universe before it existed, can you?
Can't observe, no, because there wouldn't be any, except the universe always did exist.
So can you actually see the time before, before, let's say, more than 16 billion years from today?
I don't have to be there to sort of...
How will you observe it? You said you cannot define something unless you observe it.
No. What I see is that everything that exists has a cause.
Yeah, but you can't see everything that exists, can you?
No. Every individual entity that exists in its particular form, with its particular identity, has a cause, which is another entity acting upon it.
Yeah.
And therefore I can infer from that all the things I've said.
My point exactly.
That every cause has to exist, and
so it's an inference rather than you actually observing it.
No, it's an undeniable truth that everything that exists is, and that there can't be anything outside of existence.
But it can't be an undeniable truth if you cannot see it. How can it be an undeniable truth?
The cause either exists or it doesn't exist. If the cause exists, then it's part of the universe.
No. You only give two options: either the cause exists or the cause doesn't exist. I gave you the third option, an uncaused cause.
Yes, but you're just defining that into existence, so it's completely arbitrary.
No, I'm not. Sorry. Why can't I define that into existence?
Because
I'm saying
based on something.
just like your universe, which can always exist, this entity, the uncaused cause, always existed.
Yes, but my argument...
By inference.
No, but you're not inferring that based on anything. My argument is based on inferences of everything that exists.
Yeah.
Is in its particular form was once caused by another entity of another form, and also the fact that everything that exists, I'm calling the universe, the totality of existence, and therefore that if there can't be a cause outside the universe, because then that would mean the cause wouldn't exist. That is the basis of my inference.
But didn't you also say
the basis of but what's the basis of your inference?
No, hold on. Before that, didn't you also say every matter began to exist?
Yes.
So if every matter...
From another form, not from nothing, because nothing can't exist.
No, even form. What form was matter in before any, what form was this energy? I think you're trying to use the word energy rather than matter, isn't it?
It doesn't matter. Matter, energy.
Okay, let's say matter, energy. Okay.
Measurements of the same thing.
So you're saying
It's
energy.
Existent. The whole point isn't whether it's the sun or the earth or the different type of a gas cloud, the various forms of the matter. The whole point is the difference between something existing and something not existing.
Okay, so you're saying matter or energy always existed.
It doesn't really matter that it exists in different forms over time.
No, but you're making that conclusion based on what? On what basis are you making this conclusion that the matter or energy always existed?
By the fact that otherwise you're having something coming out of nothing, except nothing doesn't exist.
No, but why you think that's the only option?
Because existence exists.
Look.
And it's self-evident that existence
I think
exists.
if you narrow it down to only two options, either everything began to exist from something.
Every individual entity within it, yep.
Hear me out. Let's narrow it down to 2 points. All right. Either everything began to exist from, or was created from something, or from nothing. Yeah. If you can narrow it down to this.
Or it never had a beginning at all. It just always existed.
Oh, you're talking about the eternal existence of the universe.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Have you heard of the infinite regression?
Yes.
How do you get away from that in your eternal model of the universe?
I accept it. I accept that the universe has always existed and always.
No, but the
will always
infinite
continue.
regression doesn't allow that. Do you know that? You want me to explain that to you?
No. I understand that the universe is.
What is infinite regression?
The universe is necessarily finite, so infinity as such can't
No.
exist.
Infinite regression means what?
Infinite regression. I'll deal with infinity first. Regression is just going back, whether in time or space or whatever. But infinity means that the identity of something is indeterminate, which is impossible because everything that exists is
Infinite means something that doesn't end.
right.
Okay? So it has got basically like the numbers. So numbers are abstract. So numbers are infinite. Yeah? No one can say what is the last number.
Yeah.
Am I right? And
But every individual number is finite, and the same thing applies.
No,
to
hear
the
me out,
universe.
my friend. I haven't finished yet.
No.
I was trying to tell you why your eternal model of the universe doesn't work. Okay, let me give you an example. An example which I gave to the gentleman earlier. I don't know if you were there, but I don't think you were. So the example is this: imagine you go to a library to borrow a book. Yes, you are in the queue, and in this queue, in front of you, there are infinite number of people.
Yeah, therefore we can't get there. Yeah.
Will you ever get a book?
No.
Good. So based on this infinite regression model and the analogy I gave you, you and I and the universe wouldn't exist in that model.
No, because the
You
point
see what I mean?
No, but the number series is a great example because although the possibility is expanding it infinitely, at each stage, at each number is finite, and the same thing applies to the universe. That although it can go on infinitely, at each particular point, the universe is what it is. Only it continues to change indefinitely, because otherwise you can have something going to nothing or nothing going to something at either end.
No, but the cause and effect problem will still be there. Because if something was there eternally, yes, there has to be an uncaused cause at some point to bring this into effect,
No,
to bring the
you
universe.
don't have to bring it into effect. It just simply is.
No. That's not how science works, my friend.
I have to bring into effect the world.
My friend,
The world
that's
just
not how
works.
science works. You cannot just say simply is. That's not an explanation. You need to qualify your statement. That is what this universe is, this eternal universe as you're talking about, yes, at some point, unless it began to exist, it will never exist. Because of the issue of infinite regression, because there is always going to be a cause that is required to bring it into existence. You go back again, one step, another cause you require to bring it into existence. You see, this will be
And then it goes back.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the problem with that?
The problem is, when will it end?
It won't. It will always continue
and
to
because
exist.
it won, you won't have a cause which caused it.
There will be a cause. I just haven't identified
No,
it.
you won't have the
Going
first
back.
cause. There's no first cause because it's going to be eternal.
Yes, it's eternal.
So who caused that cause? We can go on talking about this.
Who, but something else.
No, okay, what caused?
There's no necessary first
Okay, I'll tell you what.
cause.
Forget about who. What caused that cause? That cause in your infinite regression.
if the universe in its particular state, what you observe, what causes an entity to be in a particular form? What causes the seed to sprout? Well, this thing. What causes that? This thing. This thing. This thing.
You'll go infinite.
The whole point is that
it'll be never ending.
The present nature of the universe is determined by the past nature of the universe ad infinitum.
And the past of that, and the past of that, and the past of that.
Exactly.
Yes. But then
I have no problem with that.
No, the problem is it will never exist. Just like the example of the library, where you will never be able to borrow a book.
If your argument comes down to saying the universe doesn't exist, then your argument.
No, I'm not saying that. No. Hold on.
Because
I never said the universe doesn't exist. Please, I'm saying your infinite universe doesn't exist. That's what I'm saying. There's a difference between a finite universe which exists, which is what my belief is, that the finite universe exists, and it does exist, otherwise you and I wouldn't be talking right now. Okay? But this infinite universe doesn't exist because of the issue of infinite regression. And because of this infinite regression, your cause has to have another cause.
There's a difference between infinity in sort of space and time. It's impossible, as you say.
Is time and space finite or infinite for you? Time and space, are they finite?
The universe is infinite in time, but finite in space. Infinity in space is impossible because everything that exists, just like with the number series, you can say it will expand, but every single point piece of it is finite. It has an identity. Therefore, the whole thing is finite.
Let me get this right. Wait, before you go further, you're saying the time is infinite, but space is finite.
Time doesn't exist apart from the universe.
You made this statement. Let me see if I got it right. You said time is not finite, but space is. Just like the library, you'll never get the book. Just like the library, you will never get the book. There are infinite number of people in front of you.
You do.
No, you will not.
Because we are getting I'm getting the book right now.
That is because of the other library in which you're not. In which you will have an end to the queue. Are you with me? We're talking about two different models. One model is finite. It has a beginning in time.
Each individual point in space.
Hear me out.
Finite.
In one model, you have beginning of time and space and the universe. All have a beginning. In another model, like the model that you're talking about, it is eternal. It's basically infinite in its existence.
Yeah.
Yes. So you got two different libraries. In one library, you have an end to the queue. In your library, you have no end to the queue. In your library, wait a minute. In the library which you're talking about, you will never get the book. Trust me, because there's infinite number of people in front of you. In this other library, it's finite. The line is finite. It has an end. The queue, you can count the number of people in front of you. In this other library, you cannot count the number of people in front of you. That's why two different models, two different libraries. In this you get the book. In this you don't get the book. In this,
your library idea then.
Yeah, go on.
So we are getting the book right now, first of all. But then if you're referring to the last book, the book of all books, at the very end of the universe, then correct. We will never. If you think that the getting your book is the end of the universe, then correct. We will never reach the end of the universe.
No.
About the beginning.
But the same.
I'm talking about this infinite number of people in front of you. How will you get the book? You don't know how many people are in front of you.
You won't reach the end of the universe. No, you
won't. No, I'm talking about the end of the universe. I'm talking about the analogy in which your line has no end. Are you with me?
Okay, but
you will never ever get a book because you don't know how many people are in front of you, and that, in fact,
I will never reach the point infinitely
that line will never end. It's a never-ending line. Are you with me?
Yes.
In a never-ending line, you will never get a book.
But you still experience, and you still walk along the floor, and your point of the universe that you can witness, even if you can't witness
My friend, it's an analogy. Try to understand it from the point. It's an analogy.
My argument. No, don't. What he's saying is he's not going forward in time; he's going backwards.
No, both ways.
If time goes back,
I'm talking both ways, my friend. Not only backwards and forwards. Let's imagine there's an infinite number of people in front of you, infinite number of people behind you. Both ways it works.
No, because the time could go on infinite.
All right, take care, mate. So I think we are just going in circles. At the end of the day, if you can find an answer to your question, which is this singularity, if it exists outside space and time or within space and time.
Right. No, but I kind of gave you the answer, just you didn't really.
No, you said it, you didn't give an answer. You only told me it's a good question, but you didn't give an answer.
No, I said it's a good question. And look, you understand when I talk to you, I only get about 8 words.
Will you stop condescending and just answer the question?
What is your question? What was your question?
He's saying, if we contract all the universe, all the existence to one point, yes? My question to him is, does that point, yes, does it exist within space and time or not? And
I keep saying it doesn't.
it doesn't now. So where does it exist then, if not in space and time?
You could say.
Don't say could
exists
say.
in
Don't
space.
speculate. Tell me a definitive answer. Don't speculate.
It exists in space, by which we mean all the things that aren't the universe, which is nothing.
That's a cop out. It is a cop out.
You have a tendency to sort of pass a judgment. It's like
My
you
friend,
ask me a question,
For you to
pass a
say,
judgment
for you
on
to
it.
even
Whereas
say
I could
that
say
this is in a
all your
space
ideas
which doesn't
are like-
define that space is a cop out.
You know what? Even you know that even today, if I see the astrophysicians or astronomers, they cannot even say definitively this point. Their shift is off.
All right, take care. Welcome.
See you next week.
Part timers.
Look who's there.
Take care, brother.
6 different theories.
Right. Anyway, I think I'm going to make a movie. I've been talking long time. What's your name, my friend?
Right, it was Andy. I would like to talk more.
Yeah, I know, but I can't stand here all day.
Yes, I know you.
Yeah, but thanks a lot for your time.
Okay.
What's your name?
It's Andy.
Andy. I'm Hashim. Nice talking to you,
Maybe-
man.